Once upon a time, a younger version of me was thrilled to get his first car, an old gas guzzler. It was like a rite of passage, a step into adulthood, or so I thought. Picture this, a rusty old beast with a heart of steel roaring down the highway, making heads turn. It was the kind of car that would make Mad Max himself nod in approval. It was my own mechanical pet, a bit like a grumpy old bulldog. It needed constant attention, regular feeding of petrol, and had a nasty habit of marking its territory with oil spots, but I loved it nonetheless. It was a symbol of freedom, of independence. The open road was my playground, and my faithful bulldog was my loyal companion. But here's the twist in the tale. You see, this bulldog of mine, as much as I loved it, was not the best friend to Mother Nature. It coughed and spluttered, belching out smoke like a dragon with indigestion. Picture a scene from The Fast and the Furious, but instead of leaving a trail of dust, my car left a trail of smog, a cloud of exhaust fumes that hung in the air long after we'd passed. I soon realized that my beloved bulldog was more like a Trojan horse. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will. It was a joyride on the surface, but underneath it was contributing to an environmental crisis. Every mile I drove, every gallon of petrol it consumed, it was silently adding to the invisible villain of pollution. I was a young, naive car enthusiast, excited by the roar of the engine, the speed, the adrenaline rush, but I was completely oblivious to the environmental impact. It was like enjoying a Hollywood blockbuster, captivated by the action and drama, completely unaware of the real-world consequences. Little did I know then that my cherished vehicle was a wolf in sheep's clothing, silently contributing to the environmental crisis. Scene script. Picture this. Every time you start your car, you're summoning an invisible villain. You see, your car, that sleek machine of convenience, is actually a magic box. But instead of pulling out cute white rabbits or fluttering doves, it's releasing unseen monsters into the atmosphere. These monsters are the harmful gases that come out of the exhaust pipe when your car's engine combusts fuel. Now, let's take a moment to meet these monsters. First, we have carbon monoxide, a silent and invisible foe that's as stealthy as the ninjas in a martial arts flick. Next, there's nitrogen oxides, the twins of turmoil, causing havoc like the mischievous Weasley twins from Harry Potter. Then we have particulate matter, the shape-shifting chameleon that can change its form and size, making it a real-life Thanos from the Avengers. And last but not least, we have sulfur dioxide, the sneaky villain that's as harmful as the Joker from Batman, causing acid rain and breathing problems. These monsters, invisible to our eyes, are released into the atmosphere every time we start our cars. They mingle with the air we breathe, causing a cocktail of health problems and environmental issues. It's like a real-life horror movie. But unlike in the movies, we can't just close our eyes or hide behind the sofa when things get scary. What's even more terrifying is that these villains are not just confined to the big screen. They're in our cities, our streets, and our backyards. They're the silent party crashers at your Sunday barbecues and the unwelcome guests on your morning commute. This is not a fictional tale spun by Hollywood. This is the reality of internal combustion engine or ICE vehicles. The emissions from these vehicles are contributing to air pollution, climate change, and an array of health problems. Just like in the movies, our invisible villain is leaving a trail of destruction, only this time it's real. Scene script. Have you ever watched a domino cascade? That's what our beloved ICE vehicles are setting off in our environment. Just like a single push can topple over an entire row of dominoes, so too the harmful gases emitted by these vehicles set off a chain reaction of events leading to environmental damage. Think of it like this. Do you remember that scene from the film V for Vendetta, where one small act of defiance sparks a revolution? Our ICE vehicles are that act of defiance, only in this case they're not sparking a revolution but a catastrophic chain of events in our environment. The first domino to fall is the release of carbon dioxide and other pollutants. These gases, just like the villains in our superhero movies, are invisible, odorless, and deadly. They rise up into the atmosphere, acting as a blanket that traps the sun's heat, giving us our first villain, global warming. The second domino is the effect of this warming. Our beautiful ice caps start to melt faster than an ice cream on a hot summer day. This leads to rising sea levels, which can cause flooding and even the disappearance of some islands and coastal cities. The third domino is the disturbance of ecosystems. As temperatures rise, habitats change. Polar bears lose their icy homes, Coral reefs bleach and countless species face the threat of extinction. It's like a real-life version of the Hunger Games. Only this time it's not just the tributes at risk, but entire species. The fourth domino is the impact on human health. Air pollution contributes to respiratory diseases like asthma and can even lead to lung cancer. It's as if our cars are smoking a pack a day and we're all getting the second-hand smoke. The domino effect doesn't stop there. Each fallen domino triggers more consequences, creating a cycle that, left unchecked, could lead to the collapse of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The last domino hasn't fallen yet, but if we don't act, it's only a matter of time. Our trusty rides are like silent assassins, slowly poisoning us without our knowledge. Picture a scene straight out of an Agatha Christie novel. Instead of a dashing detective, we have our innocent-looking cars. And instead of a poison-laced glass of wine, we have the invisible, lethal cocktail of gases they emit. These silent killers, our internal combustion engine vehicles, are constantly at work, releasing a deadly mix of pollutants into the air: nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, and particulate matter. These are not just fancy scientific names. They are the Moriarty to our Sherlock Holmes, masterminding a scheme that affects us all. Just like in a suspense thriller, the effects of these pollutants are not immediate. They lurk in the shadows, causing long-term damage to our health. They can lead to respiratory diseases, heart issues, and even lung cancer. The World Health Organization estimates that around 7 million people die each year from exposure to such polluted air. Now imagine your car as the villain in a James Bond movie, smooth, sleek, and dangerous. It seems harmless, but it has a secret weapon: pollution. And just like every Bond villain, it's not just one person who suffers. The whole world is at risk. But let's lighten the mood a bit. Remember that scene in Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, where Holmes disguises himself perfectly to fool Moriarty? Well, our cars are doing a similar job, hiding their lethal nature behind their shiny exteriors and roaring engines. However, unlike in a detective movie, where the villain is usually brought to justice in the end, our cars continue their silent assault on our health and environment. They are these silent killers. Their poison spreading far and wide, affecting millions of unsuspecting victims. So, while we enjoy the freedom our cars provide, they are silently plotting our downfall. It's high time we unmasked these villains and took action. After all, we don't want our beloved cars to turn into the final scene of a tragic movie, do we? Now, don't despair, my friends. All hope is not lost. We can turn the tide. Picture this. We're all aboard a grand ship sailing away from a grim, foggy island. This island represents our past, where internal combustion engine or ICE vehicles have been spewing out harmful emissions, choking our planet and clouding our future. But as we sail away, we can see a glimmering island on the horizon, representing a cleaner, brighter future. This island is where we're headed, powered by alternatives to ICE vehicles like electric cars and public transportation. Imagine electric cars as our sturdy lifeboats, rescuing us from the smoggy sea. They are our silent superheroes, like Batman to Gotham, reducing emissions and saving the planet one ride at a time. Now, let's not forget about public transportation. Picture it as a giant cruise liner capable of carrying hundreds of us towards our destination. It's like the Hogwarts Express, magic in its ability to reduce carbon footprints beyond vehicles. Let's think about our lifestyle changes as the winds that propel us forward. Carpooling, cycling, walking, all these are like the refreshing sea breezes pushing our ship towards the island of our dreams. Yet, this journey isn't a solo voyage. It's a collective effort. We're all in this together, like the fellowship in the Lord of the Rings, embarking on an epic quest to save Middle-earth, or in our case, Earth. Remember, every little action counts. Each electric car purchased, each bus ride taken, each mile cycled or walked gets us closer to our destination. It may seem like a daunting journey, but as they say, every journey begins with a single step. So let's embark on this journey together, leaving behind the smoggy roads for a cleaner, greener tomorrow. The horizon is bright, my friends. Let's set sail towards it, one eco-friendly choice at a time.
If you like this content and would like to see more, subscribe.